$7 million. In numbers, that's nothing, right? At the same time, it's everything. Hey, welcome to Digital Goldmine. Today, a single engineer allegedly walked away from Elon Musk's XAI with Grok's secrets, sold millions in stock, and, according to court papers, tried to hand those secrets to OpenAI. It sounds like a tech thriller, but it's a real lawsuit. Stay with me, because this story tells us exactly what's broken in modern tech business. In this video, I'll 1. Lay out the timeline and the core allegations, 2. Explain what XAI says happened, 3. Show why this matters for the whole AI industry, and 4. Give practical lessons so founders and teams don't get burned. All claims I mention are sourced from the recent complaint and reporting, links in the description. So first, the timeline. According to a federal complaint filed by Elon Musk's company XAI, a former engineer, identified as Zhuochen Li, allegedly copied confidential Grok files, sold about $7 million worth of XAI stock, and then accepted a role at OpenAI. This all happened during August 2023. Now, 2 months later, he left Grok, sold his shares, and started working at OpenAI. And now, 6 months after that, XAI is suing. The timing here is important. XAI alleges that Li knew he was about to leave Grok and wanted to make a personal financial windfall, so he took secret information with him. Now, there's a lot to unpack. So let's go through it piece by piece. What actually happened? According to XAI, several things. First, Li joined Grok as an AI infrastructure engineer and later became a senior manager responsible for the company's largest model, called Model Prime. This gave him access to some of the most sensitive research and development. XAI alleges that Li willfully and maliciously downloaded confidential files, including those related to model architecture, training techniques, and infrastructure. This is important. The complaint claims that these are Grok's core competencies, things that give them a leg up on competitors. And XAI says Li took files immediately before leaving the company. On August, he allegedly downloaded 21 gigabytes of data onto a personal USB drive and then another 12 gigabytes 3 days later. On the same day, he resigned. In total, he downloaded almost 100 gigabytes of data, mostly to an external hard drive, which XAI suggests is big enough to hold hundreds of thousands of files. Second, Li also sold millions in stock. Between July and August, he sold all of his restricted stock units, RSUs, basically payouts tied to company performance. In total, he sold about $7.2 million worth of stock. This is important. XAI alleges that Li knew he was about to leave the company and wanted to make a personal financial windfall, so he took secret information with him. And third, Li allegedly deleted a bunch of stuff. Before leaving on August, he deleted over 1,000 files from his work laptop and over 200,000 files from his desktop. Then the next day, he deleted all activity history on his work laptop. And when Grok investigated, they found some of those deleted files on his personal drive. Li denied wrongdoing, claiming he simply moved files, not copied them. But XAI says that hundreds of Grok files on Li's personal drives have been time-stamped within minutes of their deletion from Grok's server, suggesting that Li deleted and then copied them. This is important. Deleting evidence is a common red flag. And while not proof of theft, it makes the other allegations much more credible. And finally, shortly after leaving Grok, Li joined OpenAI. This is important. According to the complaint, Li accepted a position at OpenAI where he works today. They even shared an office, the complaint notes. And XAI alleges that Li intended to bring Grok's secrets with him. So that's the timeline. Here's why it matters. First, a basic principle. Tech companies rely on talented people, especially AI companies, because building and scaling AI takes world-class engineers. But that means there's always a risk of someone taking secrets to a competitor. This is especially true when those competitors are willing to pay top dollar and offer prestigious roles. This is not unique to Grok or XAI, it's a constant pressure point in the industry. And if true, it shows how cutthroat the AI talent race has become. And second, we have a complaint, not a trial. Importantly, the complaint names the engineer and XAI's claims. It does not name OpenAI as a defendant. It alleges that the engineer intended to bring Grok secrets to OpenAI and seeks injunctive relief and damages. How OpenAI responds, and whether it had knowledge of the alleged theft, will shape the next phase of this story. Finally, there's a bigger picture here. The AI industry is moving incredibly fast. Top companies are hiring hundreds of people per week, and entire teams are jumping ship to new projects. For example, Adept recently hired a few dozen from X and Anthropic, has brought on many ex-OpenAI employees. These moves help speed up timelines, but they also introduce risk. Almost every large AI company has faced accusations of stealing from or copying others. In February, for example, Meta was sued for allegedly stealing from a smaller AI startup called AI 21 Labs. These cases are hard to prove, but they highlight a trend. As the AI space heats up, the incentive to take shortcuts grows too. But what can you do to protect yourself? If you're a founder or leader, here are 4 ideas. First, least privilege access. Only give engineers the files they strictly need. Second, detailed access logs and data loss prevention systems. These can detect mass downloads. Third, strong exit procedures. Revoke credentials instantly, preserve devices for forensics, and force a return of property. And fourth, clear IP and confidentiality agreements with explicit post-employment restrictions where enforceable. These 4 won't eliminate your risk, but they form the baseline to avoid a $7 million shock. The lawsuit highlights a deeper problem. Modern companies move quickly, and that often comes at the expense of ethics and culture. Big money, big ambitions, and short time frames encourage people to take risks and sometimes cross lines. And it's not just about avoiding legal trouble. It's about building a sustainable business. Short-term wins can feel good, but long-term success depends on doing the right thing. Think about it. Would you rather hire someone who took shortcuts to win an award, or someone who built something great the right way? If you want the best people, you need to build a workplace where everyone feels valued and motivated to contribute their best work. Yes, legally binding agreements are important, but fostering a culture of integrity and responsibility is invaluable. People will remember how you treat them, and they'll be less likely to cross ethical lines if they believe in what they're building. Remember, it's not just about ticking boxes. It's about building a company you can be proud of. This is a developing story. The complaint is public record. See links below. I'll update you as filings and statements arrive. If you want the source links and a short legal checklist to protect your startup, comment checklist, and I'll pin it. If you like this breakdown, subscribe to Digital Goldmine. I bring the hidden stories behind AI, money, and power. Hit like, share this with a founder you trust, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.